Welcome back to Joe Ondo's channel, and we are glad to come back to discuss a very exciting topic today. And we are going to focus our discussion in matters regards to mentorship. And our discussion today is looking at the relationship between the mentor and the mentee relationship, and how do you choose the right mentor in your career. Today I have a great audience with me, and I'm glad that we have joined by a great audience. And I know they will be able to introduce themselves, but we can applaud them. Let us appreciate each one of us. That's great. So now, for those who are joining for the first time, I want to introduce our guest speaker for this podcast. And our speaker is Dr. Joe Oundo, who's a CEO and founder, Mahabara Africa. I know we'll get time to discuss about that, Prof. But to start the discussion, maybe you can tell us what is really this idea of having a mentor in life. Who's a mentor?
Thank you, Dr. Nsongo. Who is a mentor? Great question. And mentor, I would start by giving a biblical example. Jesus was a great mentor. He mentored his disciples for 3 years before setting them free and say, you can go now and baptize people and evangelize and do all those things. So a mentor is somebody who holds your hand, who identifies opportunities for you, who supports you at your lowest moment, but also your biggest cheerleader. A mentor is somebody who will look you in the eyes and tell you your mouth is smelling. You not like it, but you'll go see a doctor. So a mentor is somebody who tells you the truth, but who cheers you also and helps you to grow.
Wow. So it's somebody who will give you the reality.
Yes.
So now I was looking at our last conversation, which was about, we discussed heavily on the power of self-investment, and we were talking about in education. Mm-hmm. So now I'm always motivated and mentored by, when I look at your profile, all the way moving from, I looked back to the Kenya Medical Research Institute, that's back in 2006. 1990 to 2006. Then I saw you moved from there to the American Society of Microbiology in 2012. Then you became a deputy lab director at the CDC in 2006. Then come to a level where you became the lab director at the Advancement of Military Medicine, that is the Jackson Foundation. Then we, in that journey, up to the time now you went to the School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. So maybe, Dr. Oundo, can you tell us something about the people you have mentored along that journey, and how was your experience like?
Yes, and this is part of mentorship. My granddaughter.
That's great.
Happy birthday, mommy. She's celebrating her 4th birthday today.
That's great.
And she's just run away from her parents to come and sit with Babu here.
To be mentored.
To be mentored.
That's part of mentorship.
This is part of mentorship.
That's great.
So getting back to your question on the people that have mentored,
yes,
and the effect,
yes,
that has had. I think through this journey, especially from the time that I joined CDC and I was a resident laboratory advisor in the field epidemiology and laboratory management training program, which was a Masters of Science training program for doctors and medical lab scientists through the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, a 2-year program designed to train epidemiologists and laboratory managers and modeled after the Epidemic Intelligence Service of the United States Department of Human Health Services. Now, I joined that program in when it was in its second cohort in 2006. The first cohort was 2005, and I left during cohort 10. Okay. So approximately 8, going on 9 years.
Okay.
And I've got some examples that I can give about this mentorship.
Yes.
Because this was a definite 2-year program, upon which, if you did not complete the program, you are on your own. Okay. So you had.
So the students could take a 2-year program
2-year master's program,
Okay.
and they had to graduate. Some of those students are now in various leadership positions all over the world. One of them is in Russia. Another one is the WHO country representative in South Africa, in Kenya, in Cameroon, in Nigeria. They are all over.
Yes.
Yes.
So in that experience, it means there are many people who went through your hands.
Absolutely.
Are there specific examples that you can quickly pick and say, this one, were it not for the mentorship they went through in your hands, then they could not be where they are, from your
Yes.
experience?
Yes. For obvious reasons, I cannot mention their names
Yes.
to protect their privacy. But I remember one particularly. He was in the military in South Sudan. When he came in, I didn't even know that he was in the military. At that time, he was a brigadier, and he was a nurse by training, but a brigadier by profession. So the first part of the program was didactic, and then there was the outbreak investigation and things like that. Then the second part was, doing research and developing a thesis. Part of my job was to prepare these residents for them to go and to the university and defend their thesis. And it was a very rigorous process that I took them through, from how to dress to how to project their voices, to how to stand there, what questions to expect. And one afternoon we are sitting in the class, and we have just finished, I think, 20 something. He had done more than 20 dress rehearsals for the PowerPoint 20 minutes presentation. And he looked me in the eyes and said, "Thank you, Dr. Undo." And I said, "You're welcome." But he wasn't satisfied. He said, "You don't know what you have done to me." I said, "What is it?" He said, "Do you know how many people I have killed?"
As a military officer now?
And I was still trying to register that in my mind.
Yes.
And he said, "I'm in the military in South Sudan, and I fought for my country's independence. And I was out there in the bush, and my job was to look for the enemy and kill the enemy.
Okay.
But you gave me the opportunity to come to this training program. And tomorrow I am going to do my thesis defense, and I'm sure I'm going to pass." At that point, this man's eyes became wet with tears.
Okay.
I calmed him down, and he became very emotional. So after calming him down, the next day he went to the university, he did his presentation, he passed with minor corrections.
Okay.
He graduated, went back to his country, and I happened to go there in Juba to supervise other students. And the hotel where me and my colleagues were staying, in the morning when we were having breakfast, I look across and I see him. And he said me, and he said, "Hey, doctor, how are you?" So in my excitement, because this was my former student, I stand up
Yes.
to go and greet him. And soldiers in full regalia, uniform regalia, stand up very quickly, surround him, and pop out their guns.
Okay.
They didn't know who I was,
Yes.
and they were ready to shoot me dead. And he said, "No." He told them to stand down. He said, "This is my teacher," and he spoke to them in their language. And Dr. Nsongo, they were saluting me now. These people who a few moments ago wanted to shoot me for approaching
Yes.
their leader. So that was a very humbling
Experience.
experience,
That's great.
that this man now is high up there And he welcomed me. We hugged each other, and we talked. And I sat at his table.
Yeah, so Doc, that is exciting, and I'm looking at it from the journey in terms of how you mentored him for the 2 years and how that experience went to help him achieve a bigger objective even in the organization he was working in. So, in the definition of mentorship, you talked about a mentor is somebody who can direct you or give you information. Let's say, tell you something that is not pleasant at that moment, but that can transform your future. So in your mentorship, as you have mentored many, I know, in your journey, there are people you have told something that is not enticing at that moment, but later they come to understand the value of that aspect. Even assessment. I was there as a student in the University of Kenyatta. I remember there are some professors, we never used to like them. But now, as a practicing doctor, I start seeing the value of those people.
Yes.
Yes. So in the journey of mentorship, are there people you have directed, and at that time they don't understand it, especially to the young people?
Yes, definitely. Again, I'll go back to the same a similar scenario. There is again this young doctor, a female this time. I'm preparing her to go and do her thesis defense. It's late afternoon. We've been doing this since morning. She doesn't like it. I have told her that her presentation was BS because it was hopeless. And one of her supervisors had told her to change something in the last minute, and I told her, do not change it, because when they tell you to change something in the last minute, they will use what they told you to change to kill you during the thesis defense. So I told her, don't change it. She didn't like it, and she told me, why are you frustrating me, Dr. Undo? I don't like this. I've been here with you since morning. And it's going towards late afternoon, almost 4 o'clock. I said, okay, cool down. Please do me a favor. Can you take these books of mine to my car downstairs? I knew exactly why I was doing that. When she went down, and she accepted, she took the books and she took them to my car. When she got to the car, she found my wife in the car. And she started ranting to my wife. Your husband is harassing me there. What's wrong with him today? And she continued talking, and my wife cooled her down and said, it's okay, doctor. Settle down, and you tell him to his face tomorrow that you didn't like what he was telling you. He's even telling me how to dress. How can he tell me how to dress? Even my husband has not told me how to dress. So I only got to learn about this when I came down and we were driving home, and my wife told me, this is what this doctor was telling me. Your student was telling me. I said, it's okay. I'm used to this. So next day in the morning, she came and I said, doctor, are you ready? She said, yes. And we continued again. She dressed appropriately that morning, and she had changed the PowerPoint presentation the way I had asked her to do it. Instead of 50 slides, she had less than 20, and she did a very, very good presentation. And I said, okay, now you're ready.
So all the corrections that you made,
She did.
even though initially they seemed...
She looked like I was the representative of Lucifer on this earth.
Okay.
And so she went to do the presentation. She did. She hardly got any questions. So this is where the story gets interesting. I am in Cambridge, and there's a road within the Cambridge campus, 2 buildings, the main Cambridge complex and the training center. So I'm outside the training center. And I was standing with my legs apart. I don't know what was going on through my mind. And I just had somebody jump on me. And if I had not stood firm, we would have fallen down. And looking up on the first floor window, that is my wife's lab. She was right there, seeing what is happening down here. Okay. And this young lady when I looked at her. She's the same young lady. And she was crying.
The one you had mentored.
The one I had mentored. I tried to prise her off, but she was holding on to me very, very tightly. So I let her cry. And when she calmed down, she looked me in the eyes and she said, "Thank you." I said, "You're welcome." She said, "You know, you're the only person in this world who has ever believed in me and told me that I can do it." I said, "Doctor, for crying out loud, the fact that you're a doctor, it means that from kindergarten you're a brilliant student." And she said, "Nobody has ever told me that, not even my husband, not even my parents. There's two of us, and we are both doctors. And my elder sister, she's a doctor. She's in one of those European countries. I don't want to mention the name. But all the glory goes to her. Nobody has ever believed in me.
Okay.
You're the only one who has believed in me." And I said, "Wow." And she said, "You must come to my graduation." As a matter of principle, I never attend a student's graduation because my job has already been done.
Yes.
That is for her or him and their family.
Family.
So when you attend their graduation, you're taking away their celebration from them. So this was an example of a person that I looked in the eye and told them that, your presentation is hopeless. They didn't like it, but they took the advice, they changed it, and it worked wonders on them.
That's great. So it transformed them to become a bigger. Maybe what journey did they take currently?
This particular student now is a director of, I don't know if they're called director of medical services in one of the counties in Kenya.
Okay.
She's holding a very, very high
That's great.
position.
That's great. So simply by following on the right directions that is given. Nowadays, the biggest challenge, Dr. Undo, is that young people are not willing to be mentored, or they don't understand the value of mentorship, or they don't know the qualities to look at somebody to mentor them. So maybe from your experience, what can you advise as a younger generation of professionals who are looking at building our careers? What are the qualities we should look for in a mentor?
So look for two things. Look at the personal qualities of this mentor and look at the professional qualities of the mentor. Among the personal qualities, this mentor has to be brilliant. They have to know their stuff. You don't want to be mentored by somebody who does not know that 1 + 1 is 2 and that 2 is 2 - 1 is 1. They have to be likable, they have to be calm, they have to be compassionate, they have to be empathic, and professionally, they have to be accessible, they have to be articulate, because your mentee is going to call you at midnight. And they're not going to call you about the science, because usually the science is easy. It is the things outside of science. She's going to call you that she's been thrown out. He's going to call you that, the landlord has locked his door. And even though these things are not directly related to the area of mentorship, but it is going to impact them, and they'll not be able to do the things that you're mentoring them on. So, and the mentorship does not stop when they graduate. Mentorship is for life. I still have, to date, people I mentored more than 20 years ago. When they look for jobs, I still get a reference check, still get sent to me. So always be very careful about the people that mentor you. Be very careful about the people who supervise you, because this person, like the people in the Christian faith, they become your godfather and your godmother for life.
Very true.
Yeah.
And they can build your network, they can build your connections.
And they can also destroy you.
Yeah, very true.
Yes.
So it means the mentee must be also willing to take up the mentorship serious.
Yes.
So I'm looking at it in many dimensions, and from my own experience, even in high school, I remember we always had mentors, people who had gone ahead of us. They could give us that motivation, they could give us that excitement. So is there a difference between a motivation and a mentorship?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
A motivation, you just have to open any of these free-to-air TV channels, and you've got these pseudo-motivators who are opening churches left, right, and center. And they think that they're doing a great job motivating you. When you look even at professional sports, you find that there are people who have been employed and their whole job is to motivate the athletes. They are not there to train the athlete. They are not there to do anything, just motivate you. Just make you, make the right noises and make you go out there and do your best. But you can only go and do your best if you are prepared beforehand. And this preparation beforehand is done by the mentor.
By mentorship. So mentorship is a life journey.
It's a life journey.
Well, motivation is result oriented.
Yes.
So I know we are going to talk more about that. I want us to take a break and engage our audience here. These are people who have mentors. These are people who are also mentors in their own capacity. As young professionals, I want to open the platform so that we can ask Joe any question or add to the conversation. You can pick randomly.
You can ask me any question.
Yes.
Even as to why the sun is rising from the east and setting in the west. I'll give you an answer.
Yes.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity to ask a question. I was working somewhere in the coast region, and one of the consultants spoke to a student who was doing his internship, and he told him that he doesn't have the brains to do medicine. Is that a good motivation, negative energy, or what kind of, how do we classify that, and what is the impact of such advice or such words in a young man? Thank you.
Thank you so much. My name is Rogers. I'm IT expert, and my question goes to Prof. Actually, Doctor has raised a very critical question. The statement you say that nowadays the young generation doesn't want mentorship. Can we attribute this to technology, because this is a .com generation? And also on the same line, these young generations, we have even mentors who we have never met. You see, we watch podcasts, we have a certain YouTube channel where we specify that like someone is my mentor. He produces very good videos about life, all that aligns to your career. Even, for example, we can have a mentor from watching us online. We don't have physical touch, but he gets that experience. What we say here directly impacts his or her life, but we are also not there to give him or her daily routine guidelines. As Professor said, that a mentor is someone who can even guide you, like your mentee can call you and say, I don't have a friend, and then you give her an advice. But in this case, you are not in touch with that kind of mentorship whereby you have an opportunity to give other guidelines. The mentees can just watch you online, and sometimes maybe there's a probability he or she can interpret the message, not really interpret the message, but statements have carry different weight, might not get the correct, and they'll follow different guidelines other than what you are giving her or him. So how can we regulate that because this is the era of technology, and most of the people are connected with the internet. Another thing, my question also, how many mentors are we supposed to have? You find that when we grow up and our interests do change. For example, if when I was in primary school, I wanted to be a teacher. Maybe, let's say, example, I had a mentor during that time who will guide me on how to become a good teacher. And then maybe when I'm in campus, my interest will change. Maybe now I want to be a doctor, and now I have to find a different mentor who is aligned in the medical field to guide me. So in that case, I have an option now to throw the other mentor under the bus. I proceed with a different mentor. Yeah, and actually the mentors we do deal with, some of them are, you know, our forefathers are old, they can even curse you. So yeah, so sometimes even you may fear that I don't want to change something. Maybe my mentor can say something bad and it can affect my life. So so how do we handle that situations when we want to change the mentorship?
Thank you for those questions. Somebody looks you in the eyes and tells you you're so dumb, your brains cannot handle doing medicine. Some of the most brilliant minds that have ever lived were told they were dumb in school. Do we know the formula E is equal to MC square? Who derived that formula? Albert Einstein. And he was told he cannot achieve anything in life. His teachers thought he was not even teachable. But Albert Einstein went on to be one of the greatest scientists of all time. So somebody looks you in the eyes and tells you, you will amount to nothing, tell them, thank you very much, goodbye. Politely, and walk away from them. And prove them wrong. Prove them wrong. By achieving beyond their wildest expectations. Look again at some of the wealthiest people alive today. Bill Gates, the late Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. These are college dropouts. They just got fed up by being put down by their supervisors, by their professors. They say, you know, go to hell. Look what they've achieved. I'm not saying drop out of school tomorrow, no. But you can be the best version of yourself by ignoring some of these people. So I hope and pray that that young person who was told that not only goes to do medicine, but also goes ahead to find us the cure for cancer and to find for us the cure for old age. The second question, the young people now don't want to be mentored because they say everything they can find on the internet. They don't even have to think. They can go to DeepSeek, they can go to ChatGPT and other AI platforms which will write things for them. Absolutely right. But you ask yourself, at the end of the day, at the end of your natural life on this earth, what will you be remembered for? We get remembered for two things, either for being very bad people or being exceptionally good people. So you have to be exceptional either way. Now, indeed, you can find this information online. But you saw when we started this podcast, when my granddaughter walked here, and she just put her head on my chest, and she promptly fell asleep. That is the power of the personal touch. Will that person who is mentoring you online, will they give you that personal touch at 11 o'clock in the night? When your friends have left you in the club, you don't have Uber money, and your house or your hostel is 20 kilometers away. No, they will not. That personal touch is what makes the difference between you living to see another sunrise tomorrow or you deciding to take 20 pills and saying it's not worth it. A couple of years ago, there was a young, beautiful female doctor at one of the top teaching hospitals in this country. She drove to work in the morning, she parked, and she did not get out of the car. She was found dead. She committed suicide. What would have been the difference if she had that mentor to hold her hand and tell her, you can make it through the day today? So am I saying that, stop getting information online? No. I will not be very clever by saying that. Get all of this information, but have that mentor. And about changing mentors, 2 days ago, I sent a video clip to an 86-year-old woman. This woman happens to be my mentor. This woman is called Mrs. Joyce Wameo. She lives in Mumias. She taught me English language and literature in English in high school. And I tell her, and even this English that I'm speaking now is because of her. So she's still my mentor. She's not taught me for the last 40 years, but I still recognize her. Was she my mentor at university? No. I have other mentors who now showed me the way, held my hands, showed me where to get books, where to get manuscripts, where to get funding for things, and who have held my hand along the way. At this point, I will mention them by name. I have Professor Rob Bryman. Rob Bryman is the person that I met when I was at the International Center for Diarrheal Disease Research in Bangladesh, and who gave me my first job at CDC in 2006, and who has continued to mentor me even today, where he is at his new institute in Johannesburg in South Africa. The other one is Professor Anthony Scott of the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, who held my hand when I was doing my Master of Science degree course at Kenyatta University, and has continued to be my mentor to date. Coincidentally, Professor Anthony Scott is younger than me. So can a mentor be younger than you? Absolutely. Absolutely. So those are the things that you look for. So don't be put down. But some of these mentors will add no value except a signature. I had a supervisor whose only contribution to my PhD was their signature. Any other question?
Thank you so much. That is exciting. For those who want to be mentors, don't impact only people by a signature. Do something bigger that they can remember your name.
Can you have a mentor without his or her knowledge?
Can you have a mentor?
Yeah, someone is your mentor, but you haven't talked to him or her. He's just a mentor. You just look up to him, and you just haven't told him.
Okay.
Does someone have to have a mentor?
My name is Maureen Saisi, and have you ever had a mentor-mentee relationship that didn't work out? And if you had, how did you handle it?
Yes, my name is Oyabi Samuel, a medical lab scientist. And my question is to Prof, do you also have a mentor at your age?
Do I have mentors at my age? And I said yes, and I think I answered that question just before, and I mentioned my mentors by name, Professor Rob Bryman and Professor Anthony Scott, and I said, one of them is younger than me, but he's still my mentor. So it doesn't matter your biological age. Yes, you can and do still need mentors. Even in my new position as the CEO and founder of Mahabara Africa, there are those people who have done what I'm trying to do now, and they have done it better, And I'm relying on them to open the doors for me, to show me the opportunities, and to answer the questions that I might have. Indeed. So at any age, you need mentors. The last question was on what are the benefits between a mentor and a mentee? Do they benefit? Absolutely so. The mentor benefits by seeing the fruits of their hands multiply and thriving. There is no greater satisfaction than seeing the people you have mentored in places of power and responsibility. And I'm going to touch on one more example after these questions about that satisfaction of seeing your mentees thrive. For the mentors, yes, because there are in this world, whether you're in commercial world, whether you're in the scientific world or academic world, you need people to show you which doors to open and which doors to leave alone. You need people in the room to mention your name where opportunities are. The other question was on have I experienced a situation where a mentee relationship did not work? Yes. And it can be very toxic. One of the people that I looked on as a mentor in my life became extremely toxic. To date, we don't have a good relationship because it was the typical Joseph and the wife of Potiphar situation. I think this person expected me to have a relationship with them, and I did not, for reasons that I will not go into here. But after that, the relationship only took one way. It went south. And this person tried every trick in the book and outside the book to have me fired from my job, and closing off opportunities and doing all sorts of things. But I used the power of that negativity to also grow myself. Always in my life, when you try to destroy me, I use that negativity to grow myself. This person made sure that even the students on attachment in our lab were more powerful than I was. It didn't stop me, and I had students walking more than 20 kilometers from Ngong to Nairobi to come help me do my work. One of those now is a full professor in a top university in South Africa. One of those students that I mentored. So take a negative and turn it into a positive. The other question was, can you have a mentor whom you've never met? That is not a mentor, that is a role model. I don't think I need to say more than that. We all have role models. One of my granddaughters, every time we're in the car and I put on music, she asks me, Babu, whose music is that? And if I say Michael Jackson, she'll start dancing. If it's not, she'll tell me, take it out. And she loves Michael Jackson, the late Michael Jackson, and her father also loved Michael Jackson. And she looks at Michael Jackson as her role model in music and dancing. That is not her mentor because Michael Jackson is long dead. So that is her role model. Do we still need mentorship in this current era of information technology, where everything is at our fingertips? Yes, we do. Because even those machines, there is a term called, I think, machine learning, right? Yeah. Even those machines need a teacher. And we put in algorithms for them to learn new things. So if machines and artificial intelligence need teachers, what about us, living things? The more reason why we need mentorship and guidance. Remember, And again, we go back to biblical times. Sorry for being preachy here, but look at all those great prophets. There was a time they would disappear. Moses disappeared for 40 days and 40 nights. Before that, he had disappeared for 40 years. He was being mentored. He was being schooled. He was being taught. So, yes, we do need mentors. We can get all of this information, but we need people to guide us on how to put this information together to answer the questions that we have. Even the artificial intelligence or the information superhighway, you ask it a stupid question, it will give you a stupid answer. So you need somebody to mentor you, to train you on how to ask those intelligent questions.
That's great.
Was that it?
Yes, those are the
Yes,
other round of
I think,
questions.
yeah.
So before we conclude, and I would love you to give the story of one of the audience members asked about the benefits of mentorship to the mentor. I know you have an exciting story you told me sometimes before about this artwork at these great offices where they were given to you by a mentee and in big numbers. But before we give that story, allow me ask my question on the mentorship issue today is one of the reasons for me I attribute to unemployment. But we have so many graduates from universities, top universities in Kenya who are unemployed. So I'm looking at it from this point of view. What is the role of mentorship in employability of a candidate out there in the job market?
Everything. It has everything to do with employability. And again, allow me to use myself as an example and my family. So one of my children who is doing his master's degree in international law, he went for attachment to a top company in Madrid, Spain. And there he met mentors whom he has kept in touch with to date. On coming back, these same mentors showed him the way to go again to a top European university for his last semester in Sweden. Now, when he came back and he graduated and going on to the Kenya School of Law and eventually pupillage, what I've seen, the effect is that him getting pupillage placement and even internship has become much easier because of the names that he has on his resume. Okay. So when you go for mentorship, you go for internship in a top-notch institution, and you indicate, and please be careful, don't indicate somebody's name before you speak with them and they give you the approval. But once they have given you the approval to use their name, either as a referee or as a mentor, then a lot of your work has been done, and a lot of doors which would have remained closed will be opened. Yes.
Perfect. So, so it gives you the benefit of a brand that you are associated to somebody.
Yes.
But also, does it give you the ability to learn skills, the soft skills at the job market?
Soft skills and even hard skills. Okay. One of the things that I always see and read about is I have sent 100 applications, I've not received a response. Is because you have not been mentored, you have not been tutored on how to do a resume. A lot of us take the easy way out. Just today, this morning, I was doing long listing of applicants for a position that I advertised. Yes. And the email address that this person put there was their name, abc7 at opio.com. And I said, really? If you're so careless with your email, what else are you careless about? And this is what mentorship will teach about, those soft skills and hard skills, where to apply for and where not to apply for.
I'm Philip Mosingi, I'm aeronautical engineer, and videographer. So my question is, how can you package yourself to get a good mentor? Because maybe as youths, you may have a mentor that you want to. You may have maybe a desired mentor that you want to interact with, and then maybe you go to that occasion. Maybe you have met him in a certain session, and he's a high profile person. You cannot get in touch with him, or so I was asking, how can you package yourself so that maybe you can reach them to get a good mentor?
Okay.
Thank you. I'm Jafet Baraza, BGDM Equity Affairs South B. And I'm happy in this forum. I have my mentors. Some are younger than me, and I'm still looking onto them maybe to achieve much. So, Prof, as I was working in one of the facilities within Kitengela, one of my friend came, approached me, and he told me she has a brother who has dropped out of school in Form 3. The parents are well off. The boy was in a very good school within Nairobi, very expensive one. So he dropped out of the school, but there was nobody to listen to this guy, understand the reason as to why he had dropped out of the school. So they caned him, nothing worked. They took him to the police station, caned him, nothing worked. So I requested them to bring that boy in my office. I talked to this boy for more than 2 hours. I listened to him. I gave him my practical examples of the life that I have gone through. So this guy, I just told him, yes, you have gone this and this. You have annoyed your parents. Just call your mom, call your dad, tell them I'm sorry. Because we agreed on that particular day that he will go back to school. And he went back to school. And last year he called me. That was in 2021. He called me last year and told me, my brother, because I gave him my number and I told him, I'm your brother now. In case you want anything, just call me. We will communicate. I will guide you. I might appear young, but from my ends, I felt like I assisted this guy. So he called me and told me, Baras, I passed well. I scored A, and currently I'm doing my medicine at Kenyatta University. Am I a mentor or a motivator? I'm a role model. Thank you.
Thank you, Baraza. You are a mentor, you are a role model, you are a motivator, and you are a life preserver. What I wanted to hear, which I didn't hear, was, did you listen to his side of the story?
Yes, I had time to listen to him.
Because that is all that somebody wants. That is all somebody wants. The role, we think as parents, that our only job is to write a check. Even the bank can write a check. It is being there and listening. I said one of the quality or one of the personal characteristics of a mentor is to being empathic. You must show empathy. And empathy is just being there, just listening. And I showed you the example of my granddaughter. What did I do? I just offered my body. And she promptly relaxed and went to sleep. The parents would have killed this young man, sorry to say, because they are not ready to listen. So this young man's problem was not money, it was not housing, it was not food. It was, they are not listening to me. And we may think that this person's problem is too petty. For them, it's not petty, it's about life and death. So listen. Your question was on how can you package yourself?
Or the mentor that you have.
How can you package yourself? You are a brand. You are a brand. And when I sit in the interview room and somebody walks in, within the first 90 seconds, I have determined whether this person is going to be employed or not. Because by the time you're being called for an interview, it means you're qualified for the job. But you walk in there as a young lady with 90% of your breasts exposed. You walk in there as a young man, unkempt. But now look at me. Let me stand up. I'm dressed in a very well-fitting suit. This is a bespoke suit that I did not go to Gikomba to buy or to easily to buy. I ordered for it. And it cost me more than $500 because I am a brand. I am selling myself. So that when you see me, the way I'm dressed, I don't know if I would have had the same impact if I was putting on a Gor Mahia t-shirt. That's my favorite team. But probably I would have had less impact. I like wearing shorts, but supposing I came here wearing shorts, it would mean that I'm disrespecting you as a prospective mentee. So you have to package yourself. You have 90 seconds, 1 minute and a half for this person to accept you or to close themselves off. Consider yourself as a young man. You've seen this lady and you think she is the greatest thing from the creation of Eve. How many seconds do you have? Can a lady tell me? Can a lady in the audience tell me? How many seconds does a man have to go for you to be attracted to them, to listen to them any further? A minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes?
A minute. Seconds. Less than a minute.
No, let the ladies answer. How long does a young man have? A minute. That is 60 seconds. And or less. And maybe you have already decided that, huyu naye, hapana. You know, before they have even opened their mouth. So package yourself. And package yourself is not only in the way you dress, it is in the way you talk. You have to be audible. You have to be clearly understood. Don't mind about your intonation, about your accent. All of us have got accents, but can that person understand what you're saying? Are you appropriately dressed for the occasion? Don't go wearing a three-piece suit when it says blue jeans casual or smart casual. I know a young man who thought that wearing khakis to the office was smart official. Couple of, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, he was called to HR and told wearing of khakis is not acceptable in this institution. So he had to go out and buy official trousers. I know the young men now favor the skin tight. Those are not acceptable. They're not acceptable. So package yourself and package yourself well. The way you appear, the way you're groomed, the way you have to smell nice. Look at your socks that they're good. And it doesn't have to cost 50,000 shillings. Because even in the used clothes market, it's not that I am promoting used clothes markets. I don't like them. But you can get good, presentable attire and package yourself well. So you're selling yourself as a brand. Yeah.
That's great. So the issue of personal branding, and I think that it's one of the topics that we'll pick it up and do our own podcast about personal branding, because young people are affected by that issue that has been asked from the audience. How do people value you? Will they give you a minute to speak from the way they see you, from the way you express yourself? So I think that's an entertaining issue that we'll look at and discuss. So we have come to the end of our podcast.
Sorry, yes. There was that example that I was supposed to give.
Yes.
Yeah, so when I was in the field epidemiology and lab management training program, people would send in applications. We would long list and short list and invite the qualified ones for interviews and recruit them as either lab residents or epidemiology residents. And I made sure that the people that we recruited presented the face of Kenya. not only did we recruit from Kenya, but we also recruited from South Sudan, from Tanzania, from Ghana before they started their programs. So I mentor these people, and they graduate and they go on to big jobs, and you forget about it, you continue with your life. However, a couple of years ago, one of them gave me a call and asked to see me. I said, okay. So this person came to see me, and I'm trying to avoid the gender so that you'll not know whether it is a he or a she. They came to see me, and they gave me a present of an African artwork, beautiful, with beautiful frame, which must have cost good money. So we took this and we hung it in our living room here in Nairobi. And after some time, we took it to our home in the village. Then years later, this person told me, hey, Prof, this artwork needs to be upgraded. And they sent me a link. They said, check this link. There's an art shop in Nairobi, and see what you would like. So I checked. I looked at the prices. And after some time, I said, yeah, I've seen things that I like. They cost between 4,000 and 6,000 shillings. And they got back to me. They said, no. Take your time and select carefully. I said, okay. I forgot about it. And after some time, I was in the city one time. I went to that shop and looked at what they have. I only saw one artwork that I liked. So I said, I've got something that I like. How many pieces should I take? And they said, take as many as you can. I said, wow, okay. Then before I finished reading that message, another message came through. They said, check your M-Pesa. So I would like to go back to the audience and ask you, how much do you think this person sent me? Anybody would like to take a guess? Yes. Baraz.
250,000.
250,000. Second guess?
2 million.
2 million. Last guess? Sorry? $1,000. That's about approximately 130,000 shillings. The $1,000 almost is there. This person sent me 90,000 shillings to my M-Pesa account. And they told me, happy shopping. So I took the 90,000, all of it, and went to that shop and had a jolly good time. And you're going to see the artwork that is. So what I did not order the artwork that was there. I bought one that I'd liked, but I used the rest of the money to print out some of the photos that we had taken using our cell phone. So you're going to see the pictures that we took. But that was a very humbling experience. This person told me, because of what you did to me, because of your mentorship, I am who I am today. That person is today a WHO representative in an African country. That is a big position.
That's great.
That is a big position. That is the power of mentorship. So this person still remembers. They were under no obligation, Dr. Nsongo,
Yes.
to send me a coin. I did not ask them, and I've never asked them. And as I said in the beginning, that mentorship is for life.
Yes.
So you have to be very careful, because this person becomes your daughter, becomes your son. So remember, if you're planning to have a relationship with that person, don't allow them to become your mentor or your mentee. Once they become your mentor or your mentee or your student, any thinking of romantic relationships are gone. Because once you cross that line, you have destroyed everything. Yeah.
That's great. So that is a very nice way of ending our podcast today, especially looking at the impact mentorship has and the benefits that it can also bring to the mentors. And
Yes.
I'm glad, and I want to, we'll take us around, want to see those artworks because those are the fruits of mentorship.
Yes.
So we'll be glad to see them, and I hope that the camera is going to visualize that. So for those who are joining us for the first time, I want to encourage you to subscribe to Joe Undo's channel, YouTube channel, where we discuss on a weekly basis different topics. And stay tuned. In our next discussion, we are going to talk about personal branding, probably.
Personal branding.
And I believe it will be exciting. So for those who have never watched our previous episodes, you can click the button, subscribe, and go back to watch all the videos that have been posted there. Last time we talked about self-investment. I'm glad that the latest video was talking about investing in property, and that is the land. So I'm encouraging us to watch and stay tuned. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. You look at him here, he was at the vet school, University of Nairobi. He was Mr. University at that time, so he's a very handsome, very eligible bachelor at the university at that time. And here he was modeling for some product. I don't know what. You have to find him and ask him. So these are the pictures that I printed using that 90,000 shillings. This is my son, and he's a newly wedded wife during their wedding in London a couple of years ago. This is myself and the boss lady. We took this picture in Ethiopia. She was telling me, like, you have to pull me from up here again and again and again, which I gladly do every single day. We hold each other up. This one here is the most photographed picture in house in the world. It's in Mlolongo, just outside Nairobi. And this was Christmas Day 2023. We went to tour that building. It's a vacation somewhere in Africa. So we've been married for the last 37 years. This is going to be year 38. And this one, we are on vacation in Bangkok, Thailand. I bought, and again, we too are talking about branding. So that, and that's our eldest granddaughter, Aswito. I told you she loves Michael Jackson. So there she was taking the pose of Michael Jackson in, I think, Bad or Beat It, one of his music videos. And in Sweden, and the lower one.